do is just take a walk through the camp, give you all an idea, you know, of what things are like sort of on the ground.
And who are the folks in the yellow shirts, Matt?
Cash for Work programs, sponsored by USAID funded projects, implemented by contractors, and you know, in conjunction with the Haitian government. So,
and about 20,000 people in this camp.
20,000 people in this neighborhood.
Right?
This camp right here, which just is only a few meters behind me and a few meters that way and that way, has about 250 to 300 families. So, a number of people. The difference between this camp and some of the more, you know, popular ones that you see, this is a neighborhood squatting on unoccupied plots of land in sporadic places. You got big camps sitting downtown. You guys were down there at the cathedral, where the main plaza is for the Champ Mas. I mean, that place is covered, you know, from the place, but it's all just open areas. So people were just able to, you know, occupy that land. It's different here. The terrain's different. You see right down there, you get a ravine, you get a mountain. I mean, people are still hanging out in the neighborhood. They don't want to necessarily leave where they were. So, and little by little, they try to clean out, you know, some of their houses and, you know, remove some of the rubble and stuff. Somebody could close up, but it's still really durable. Okay, you could pour water, take water around. Same thing with the ones with the red tops right here that they're filling out. Again.
This is water being provided by Red Cross sources. Matt's taking us through this part of the camp. Everybody lined up using all to get their water. Whoops, excuse me. Here we're continuing to walk through the camp. Matt's giving us a tour here.
Mais ils ont occupé la Cogna, t'as le Macoulé. Même vous éclairez pour oui? Oui, ou éclairez?
Matt is very fluent in Creole. Really good representative for the Red Cross.
Every day we have health volunteers in the camps throughout the day doing certain things. But yeah, she sat in a cast in one of these little huts for 8 weeks.
That's
and it was
incredible.
full, it was with so the femur, it wasn't just up in the upper thigh, they had the whole waist and all the way down to the ankle. So it was just quite immobile, but happy. Mary? The camp committee leaders that we use to do some of the work. Whenever you really do need a structure in place, because the volunteers come in and they start to do some things, and then next thing you know, we've had to intervene, you know, just once, because some disgruntled camp member is just like, you volunteers aren't doing anything here, and the volunteers, they're volunteers, you know, and they're just trying to do some, you know, community health work and stuff. So you gotta get together these committee members, some of the stronger leaders, and be like, hey, listen, you gotta do some, you know, advocacy on the volunteers' part, you know, help them out, make sure the community knows that they're here, they're working for you.
That's a good idea, right?
She's one of the members.
I see. Matt, how many Haitian Red Cross? How many volunteers and staff are there in the Haitian Red Cross at this point? Because I know that's how a lot of the work's being done.
Active, we have a few thousand right now. Within programs funded and sponsored by American Red Cross, a few hundred. Nationally, we're probably ourselves at about 500 plus. And then a level of staffing and managers, field managers, coordinators, assistants, and things like that. We probably have about 50 or so.
It's incredible.
A lot to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see. We don't want people living in this. But there are greater and grander issues that need to be resolved beyond our power. And we're the humanitarian community. We're trying to make sure that people just have the minimum, and when we can get them the maximum, get them the maximum. And land issues.
What's next for these guys? Like, where would you expect them to go next?
Very good question. Very good question. A few options. Well, three. I would break it down into three. Give them the resources to make the decision on their own. Okay.
Like money?
Yeah. And dégage. I mean, in a way, I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money.
Right.
So if I have it to give, let's figure out how to get it into their hands. Help them figure out, get the right information, what they need, and spend it correctly. The other thing is transitional shelter options. They're slow going, very slow going, because there's not land available. Government's not making strong decisions about where to move people to. Third option right now is what a lot of people are looking at, what they're calling the greenhouse option. So if there's any possibility for individuals that are in these camps to get back into their neighborhoods where the structure of their home is not damaged, and we can certify that, not we, but the government or the certifying agencies can certify that, then give them the resources, incentives to go back to those houses. I mean, that's where we're at right now. But we're also at, in a few months, hurricanes may strike. If they do, we know they're going to be here during that season. What do we do for them now? We saw a little trench dug over there. It doesn't seem like much. If it's not there, though, the effects are much greater than we anticipate in the hurricane season.
Yeah, I saw a lot of trenches in the camps.
Got to keep digging them. Got to keep cleaning them, digging them. I mean, it's simple. It's simple engineering, really.
All these people mostly rent from landlords that don't live around here. So how do you get them? Incentive to get them back in their houses?
That's the thing.
Because the landlord's responsibility to fix it, and they don't want it.
Absolutely.
They don't have insurance.
Absolutely. You've got issues. Land tenure is, centuries old in Haiti. You know this. It's not just post-earthquake. So they've got to figure out, what do we do with renters, squatters, people who have legitimate land tenure. I mean, there's a lot of issues. I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to be able to broker a deal with a landowner, for a renter to have the resources to rebuild that house, and then do something like, hey, you don't pay.
Take a picture.
You don't pay rent for, X amount of years or something, because these resources to rebuild the house, I did the labor, I did this, but then eventually it's granted Foncose $4.7 million, to do two things. It's a two-part grant.
I'm going to take a picture of you too. Give her a hug again.
One-time cash grant, 5,000 goods to 16,000 people within their client base. And their client base is rural, which that's where they work. That client base, we're hosting a lot of people that left Port-au-Prince, So that cash is intended simply to support those families out in the rural areas in order for them to support the people that came out and spent some money. The other part of the cash grant is to infuse money into the microcredit industry. I like to refer to it, it's debt relief, basically. We had a lot of people affected, their micro businesses were affected. We came in, said this X amount for these clients, wash the books, just there it is, get them to start over again. You lose your client base, you lose your supplier, you lose your supplies, you lose your actual fixed structure, your kiosk and stuff. How are you going to pay back the loan that you have out on Foncose? You're not. You need some mechanism. In the generosity of the American people, and the corporations and the international community. That's a proper use of the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clean it up, get it out into the hands, get people's livelihoods.
That's a good use of the money.